Hi everyone, Brooke Rogers here with the University Museums. I'm here today in Contemplate Japan at the Brunnier Art Museum. Contemplate Japan has been an exhibit that we've had on display since January, and luckily we will be having it up in the fall semester, so plenty of time to come and see Contemplate Japan when we're reopen. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about the Japanese usage of fans. So although we don't have any fans in our exhibit, we do have a number of artworks that actually include fans. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about why those fans are used in some of our displays. Specifically, we have a full kimono that is covered in fans. We have our doll display that has a fan at the very bottom, and some of our woodblock prints include people holding fans. So I thought it'd be fun if we could make our own fans today. But first, I'd like to talk about the history of fans. Fans were originally used as tools for the aristocrats and samurai class. Originally, only the emperor was able to use the fan. Those fans were called hyogis, but eventually it spread to the rest of the court being allowed to use fans, and then it trickled down to just the everyday regular folks. Fans were able to symbolize kind of three things. One, they signify social standing, so the materials used, the symbols used, really kind of indicate somebody's wealth. Secondly, they communicate messages. So if you were wanting to communicate with a different general on the war field, or if you wanted to communicate a message to somebody you had some romantic interest in, you could do so through fans and the flicking of your wrist, if it was open, if it was closed. Also, it would help you keep warm in the hot summer months. So fans did quite a few things, and it makes sense since they've been around for such a long time. They actually originated in the 6th century, so fans have been used across Japanese culture. There are two types of fans that are used. There's the uchiwa fans, and those are also known as fixed fans, so they're more of a ping pong paddle shape, or kind of a palm leaf. So imagine your hand as the top, and then there's just a stick at the bottom. Those are commonly used in Buddhist festivals or as something for ceremonies. Also, you might find it in like a goodie bag. So there's kind of a different usage for those. The second type of fan is a sensu ogi, and those are the folding fans, and we'll be making our own folding fans today. Originally, these fans were made from bamboo and then covered with Japanese washi paper, which is a very special type of paper. But there's also options for cotton or silk. Silk would be your fanciest kind. One type of sensu ogi folding fan was actually used in the war, and during the wars that Japan was a part of. These fans were used as signaling devices. So if you had a really large fan with contrasting colors that were really bright and easy to see, you could use that to communicate messages to other generals or your soldiers on how they needed to move across the battlefield. Some of these fans even had a special hidden compartment where they could store spears, so if they came into close contact with another group, they could use those as weapons. And typically these war fans were made out of steel, wood, and then lacquered paper, so they're a little bit harder than the type of fans that you would imagine a lady holding for a tea ceremony. And across time, too, fans were found in different ceremonies, so both religious, but also entertainment-wise. In dance performances, you'll see usage of fan, and even during the tea ceremony, we use fans, both in the process of tea ceremonies, but also the fact that in traditional Japanese dress, you're not considered fully dressed until you have a fan. So fan can play a lot of different roles in Japanese culture. And besides communicating social standing and wealth, the actual fans themselves, such as the materials used or the fabric used and the pattern of the fabric, can symbolize a few different things. So, for example, if you wanted to attract some wealth, you could have a gold fan, and the color gold is symbol for wealth. Similarly, the colors red and white are considered lucky colors. So if you wanted to feel a little extra lucky, you could have a red and white fan. Fans were typically given as gifts, usually for birthdays, and they have symbols related to prosperity and health, which is something that you would want to wish someone for their birthdays, for their years of wealth and happiness. Today we are going to make our own versions of fans using a few household items. So hopefully you can join us at home in making this craft. We have origami paper. This origami paper we ordered off of Amazon and is actually kimono pattern and has some fun symbols on them. This pack has lots of flowers, waves, fish, natural items, things that they would have had on kimonos that also have their own symbols. Today I will do the blue waves just because I think blue is a really nice color and I like the waves. So this craft is super simple and all we need, as I said, is paper. If you don't have origami paper, computer sized paper is fine. You can always cut it down to a square and that will work just as well. And if you're not crafty, I promise you can still do this craft. It's super easy, and let's go on. So our first step is going to be basically folding our paper into an accordion. So what do I mean by that? So all we have to do is make one fold and then flip the paper over and make a fold again. And then just continue this until you have all of the paper pleated. Now if you want a fan that has more pleats, and the Japanese believe that odd numbers are lucky, so if you want to be extra lucky, you'll have a fan with an odd number of pleats. So after you have everything pleated, all you have to do is fold it in half. So if you need to see what it looks like up close, basically we just formed a couple of different ridges in the paper. So next step is to fold it in half. You can see we're starting to get our fan shape. And then all you'll need is a glue stick, or if you have tape or Elmer's glue, something along those lines, that will work as well. Alrighty, so once you have your cap off, all you have to do is glue one side of the pleat. And remember, just a little dab of glue will do. And then once you have glue, just press it on over to the other side. And if you have smaller pleats, you'll have more in your fan than if you have larger pleats. So once you have your glue, you'll stick it together. So that way, when you open up the fan, it forms a complete fan shape. And if you're feeling extra fancy, you can get some string and cut it to a specific length. I usually do about 3 or 4 inches. And then you'll just take the bottom of your fan and kind of fold the bottom and wrap your string or thread around the fan to give it a different look. And you can just knot it off, or like me, I'm just going to twist it around a couple of times and then tuck that extra string from what we wrapped it around. And then you can have a fan with a mini place to hold it. I've also seen kids turn their fans into necklaces or different accessories, so lots of different options, super easy and really fast.